Hello, welcome to a new video. It is time for my reading wrap up and haul for the month of November. As always, I will put chapters for the wrap up and haul section so that if you don't want to watch both, you just want to skip to one, you absolutely can. But yeah, let's start with my wrap up. I had an insanely good reading month. I'm really happy with my reading, and it was partly because of my Patreon chosen vlog theme of reading nothing but manga and graphic novels for a week. That really helped boost this number, but even without that, I had a really good month and I'm very happy with what I read. So in the month of November, I read a whopping 25 books. 25 books. I read a total of 7,424 pages, which was 52 hours of audio. There was a little bit less audio than usual, but that is because I did a week of graphic novel and manga. So I had no DNFs, no 2 stars. I had 2 3 stars, 4 4 stars, and 19 5 stars. And no rereads. Again. So let's get cracking with my wrap up. So the first book I read was Wildfire by Hannah Grace. This was a 5-star. This is the second book in the, I want to say Maple Hills series. I think it's Maple Hills. I read Icebreaker and it was a 4-star. I enjoyed it, but the epilogue really ruined it for me. I did not like the epilogue at all. I don't think it made sense for the characters, but here we are. This, however, I absolutely ate this up. This was so good. And then the epilogue, I was terrified I was going to dislike the epilogue for the same reason. Friends, the epilogue was perfect and I loved it so much. Next, I read Stormbreaker by Anthony Horowitz. This was a 4-star. I really enjoyed this. I genuinely think if I had read this back when I was like a young teen, this would have been like a 5-star favorite series along with the Demon Art series by Darren Shan. This was so good. I really enjoyed this and I'm so glad I finally read it. And it's insane to me that the only thing that got me to read it was the fact that I needed a book that was released 25 years ago. Insane. Absolutely insane. But I really enjoyed it and I actually do think I'm going to continue this series. Next, we have Any Trope But You by Victoria Levine. Now, this was my Patreon buddy read for the month of November, and unfortunately, this was a 3-star. I was enjoying it at first, and then just little things were starting to annoy me more and more. I will say one thing I did really like about this book was the representation for carers of loved ones. There was some really good representation, I think, from 2 very different people as well, and different views and different reasons for being carers. Like, one is because of a chronic illness and one is because of an accident. It's so good. I really enjoyed that part, but the actual romance and the actions of certain characters annoyed me so much I was rage reading by the end, which is not what I want. And by the end of it, I just didn't care about their relationship, which sucks because I was enjoying it apart from that. But oh well, we move on. If you would like to see a full spoilery vlog of that with my full thoughts, you can join my Patreon at the Jedi Order or Rebel Alliance tier to view it. Still feels weird promoting it. Still feels weird. Next, I read The Fever King by Victoria Lee. I've had this book for the longest time and I got it because there was a couple of booktubers back in the day that raved about this. This was a 3-star for me. I don't know what it was. I just wasn't fully enjoying it. The concept was really interesting, like the whole magic. Here for it. But I don't know. I genuinely can't tell you what I wasn't loving about it, but it ended up being a 3-star and I'm really sad about that. And I don't think I'm going to continue the series because there's one more book. It's a duology. I don't think I care enough to find out how it ends, which sucks, but it's not going to be for everyone. Next, I read Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. Have I got that name right? I did get that name right. This this was a 5-star. When I tell you, I have been putting this book off for the longest time because everyone was talking about it during COVID. Because if you don't know, this is the aftermath of an apocalypse caused by a virus. And this come out in, I think it was 2014. So obviously, back in 2020, when the world was shut, some people decided it was a perfect opportunity to read this, and I was like, no thank you. I was not well mentally enough as it was then. I did not need a book like this. However, it has been long enough. The world is as back to normal as it can be after 2020 that I was like, do you know what, it's time. And I'm so glad that I finally read this, because this was such a good book, and it is scary how many things happen in this that you're like, yeah, I can see it. Like, if I had read this back in 2014, I probably would have been like, oh, this is so silly. Like, people aren't going to do stuff like this. Really. Oh, poor naive 2014 Becca. Because they absolutely will. This is ridiculous. I did really enjoy how there was also like a dual timeline, because you kept going back and seeing the when it happened. And then it was back to 20 years later, and it was really interesting to see that. My only issue, and this is a testament to how much I enjoyed this book, that my trigger is very much in this book, and it didn't affect my rating. Like, that is great writing. Like, I'm very happy that I finally read a book with my trigger that didn't affect my enjoyment of said book. But yeah, I need a copy of this book because I got this from the library, but there's a particular cover I want, and I don't know how easy it is to acquire that cover, because the cover that I'm going to try and put the cover I want on the screen, because the other cover, the one that I had from the library, the white with orange, don't like it. So yeah. Next, I read The Ordeals by Rachel Greenlaw. I gave this a 5-star. I genuinely did not know what I was going to think of this. I've never read anything by this author before, even though I do have the first 2 books in the author's first series. Oops. Well, not their first series. I think it's their first like YA fantasy. Anyway, I have the first 2 books in that trilogy. The 3rd one's coming out next year. But then I got sent this by HQ Stories, and I was just like, do you know what? This sounds really good. And I read it, and oh my God, it was so good. I need book 2. The magic in this was so interesting. And the way the mystery was woven into it, oh my God. I'm not okay though, because I need book 2 immediately, and this has only just come out. I don't think I'm getting book 2 anytime soon. But HQ Stories, if by some miracle you're watching this, please send me book 2 when it's available, because I need it so much. Next up, me and Kelly continued our buddy read, and we read Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. And I was saying with Skyward, oh, I think book 2 has potential to be a 5-star. Happy to report I was correct. Book 2 was indeed a 5-star. I really enjoyed the difference in pace of this book. Like, seeing Spencer's like life unfold a little bit, and some of the reveals in this, insane behavior. Brandon Sanderson, what are you doing? I need book 3, and unfortunately we can't continue the buddy read until January, so I've got to wait a whole month. However, I am going to do my best to make it one of the first books I read in January. Next, I read Warrior of the World by Tricia Levenseller, and this was a 5-star. I didn't know if I'd like it, because I very much love all of Tricia Levenseller's books. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, brain, I think everything I've read by her has been a 5-star. But this is very different vibes to her other books. Like, she's got a pirate trilogy. She's got a pirate duology that's no longer a duology. And then she's got Shadows Between Us, which YA fantasy, like romance, it's technically a romantasy, a YA romantasy. And And this is not that. This is like a Viking style, like there's tribes and they have this like contest and she gets banished. But she's allowed to come back if she completes this basically impossible task. And the point of giving her that task is they don't want her back. And it's just like, it's so good. There is a little bit of romance. And I really liked the little bit of romance in there because it didn't feel forced. It felt very natural and I really enjoyed it. But like the ending, people got the day they deserved and it was so good. So good. Next was my week of reading manga and graphic novels. And I'm going to try and speed through this a little bit because I've already been talking for quite a long time. I read Lightfall Volumes 2 and 3 by Tim Probert. And when I tell you I thought this was a trilogy, friends, it is not. Book 4 comes out next year and I'm so annoyed because I want book 4 now. Book 2, massive cliffhanger, and I was like, amazing, start book 3. Book 3, I've got beef because I want book 4 now, but it's not available right now. I would die for these characters. In book 2, we get a new character called Soot. Soot is adorable and I love Soot with everything. If any harm comes to Soot, I'm going to rage barbarian style. I'm so excited for book 4. They were both 5 stars. Are we shocked? No. And this is a new favourite graphic novel series for me. I cannot wait for book 4. And then I'll probably end up rereading these because they're so cute and I love them. Next up, I read Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs by Judy, and I got this wrong on my vlog, I think. It's Judy Barrett. I said Judy Barnett, I think. But anyway, it's Judy Barrett. This was a 4-star. So this is a children's picture book, which my patrons said could count as manga or graphic novel. This was a 4-star. I really enjoyed this and I very much can see where the idea for the movies come from. I do think the movies are better. However, this is a great children's book, and if by some miracle I manage to get hold of a physical copy of this book, I will be getting it for my youngest nibblings because I think they'll really enjoy it. It's about food falling from the sky. What kid doesn't want that? Next up, I read volume 2 of Zom 100 by Haro Aso. The logic was not logic in. However, like there was a lot of coincidences that I don't think you would get coincidences for, but I had the best time with this. It was so much fun and I want more volumes now. Please and thank you. Next, I read Sonic is Killing the Children volume 8 by James Tynion IV, and when I tell you I was terrified to read this, not because it's a horror, but because this is a collection of short stories and it's not a continuation of the series, and I was very disappointed when I found that out. However, I think these short stories are amazing and I'm very glad that I read these because now I want more short stories, which volume 9 coming out soon. So I'm getting my wish. So yeah, very happy I continued this. Next, I read volumes 8 and 9 of Spy Family by Tatsuya Endo. I genuinely cannot tell you how much I love this series. It is so fun. Like, it's spies and like assassins, but it's so silly and I'm so here for it. And if you read this, just be prepared to meet Bond, the dog. He's great. However, Anya will forever and always be my favourite character of this series. They were both 5 stars. Next, I read volume 2 of House of Slaughter by James Tynion IV, which is the spin-off series of Sonic is Killing the Children. This sort of like takes place, I think it's completely before the main series, but this follows a different character, and this was a 5-star. However, this was a lower 5-star. It was almost a 4-star because I just wasn't as invested in Scarlet as I was in the first volume. The first volume follows Aaron. My brain is blanking. I'm sure it's Aaron. But this follows Edwin from Scarlet Masks, and I just wasn't as invested. However, it was still very good, and I did still very much enjoy it. Next, I read volumes 5 and 6 of Dinosaur Sanctuary by Itaru Kinoshita. This is my favourite manga, and I need volume 7, and then I need there to be more volumes. These 2 volumes made me sob. I was not ready. It's a dinosaur sanctuary, and it made me sad. And it's probably not what you're thinking, but I love this, and this is the most cutest little thing ever. I love him so much. But yeah, I cannot stop raving about this because I'm a dinosaur nerd. Don't know if you knew that. I have been my entire life, and because dinosaurs are not just for boys. And yeah, I needed this. I want this place to exist. I would go there. I don't care what country it was in. Next up, I read Wingbearer Volume 1 by Marjorie Liu. This was so cute. This was a 5-star. I absolutely love this, and I'm really excited to continue it because the magic in this is really interesting and I want to find out more. I think there's only 2 or 3 volumes. So I definitely think I'm going to try and get my hands on Volume 2 soon because I want to know how this continues / ends. Next, I read The Sad Ghost Club by Lizzie Meddins. I have seen so many people rave about this, and I'm happy to report this was a 5-star. I really enjoyed this. I think it handles mental health really well, and I'm really excited to read the others and find out, because this is how The Sad Ghost Club starts, and I'm excited to see how it brings more people in. So I'm definitely going to be continuing this. I think there's 4 books altogether. I don't know if there's going to be more, but there's currently 4. So yeah. Next, I read The Girl Next Door by Cullen Bunn and Kat Farris. This was a 5-star, and I think this might be a new favourite as well. I need the second book. I think there's only 2, but I need the second book. This was adorable. It was a 5-star. He becomes best friends with a ghoul and then has to save the said ghoul, and it is adorable, and I love it so much. It's so cute. Next, I read Foxglove by Adeline Grace, and this was a 5-star. I am so happy I have read this. I read Belladonna a couple of years ago and absolutely loved it. And because I don't own them physically, I just have the audiobooks, I kept forgetting that this existed. But I'm happy that I finally read it because this was so much better. I think Belladonna was a 5-star, I think. But this was like a higher 5-star. I really enjoyed this. I had the best time reading this, even if I was stressed at parts, because it's a YA fantasy. Of course I'm going to be stressed at parts. But I really enjoyed this, and I can't wait to read Wisteria. We're almost done, friends. I'm sorry this is taking so long. Next, I read A Treachery of Swans by A.B. Poranek. So this was a 4-star. It was so close to being a 5-star, and I genuinely cannot tell you why it wasn't a 5-star, but I put it through CawPile with how I was feeling, and it came out as a 4. So we're gonna trust CawPile. But I absolutely love this. This is like a Swan Princess retelling, but make it sapphic. Look at them. They're perfect. I love them, and I want all the happiness for them forever and always. It was slow burn. I don't like slow burn. Apparently this is an exception. And then the final book I read in the month of November was Empire of the Dawn by Jay Kristoff. This was a 5-star. I'm not going to say too much about this because obviously it is the 3rd book in a trilogy. But if you have read Jay Kristoff before, just be prepared. But this book was so good. There were so many points where I was like, I was audibly gasping and crying and laughing because the characters just don't care. And I love it. But yeah, 5-star, and I'm very happy I have finished this trilogy, even if it breaks me. So that was my wrap up. My favourite book. Now, it was almost Something is Killing the Children Volume 8. However, it was Wildfire. I am genuinely shocked this was my favourite book of the month. I did not think it would be this after how much I wasn't a massive fan of Icebreaker, but Wildfire. Here we go. And now it's time for the haul. Considering I went to Yauch, there's not a lot of Yauch books here. So we're going to, as always, start with the book box subscription boxes. So I didn't get Afterlight in November, but I did get Illumicrate, which was A Rather Vengeful Accord by Danielle Knight. This is an absolutely stunning edition. Obsessed. Love it. Beautiful. Stunning. And And then I did get my Fairy Loot Romantasy, which was To Cage a Wild Bird by Brooke Fast. Now, I will say this is an absolutely beautiful edition. However, I really enjoyed, like, I really liked the original cover, and even the reverse dust jacket is not like the original cover. But it's fine. The book better be good. If the book is, like, if I love this book, I may try and get a different cover because I just don't think it fits with what the book's about, but that's just me. Next is some BookBox pre-orders. So I got my Afterlight edition of Mate by Ali Hazelwood to go with Bride on my shelf. Don't ask me where, because I don't know. And then I got my Illumicrate edition of Empire of the Dawn. Look at it. Look at it. It's beautiful. You're gonna see this book again. If you watch the wrap up, you've already seen it. Bear with. Next up is my Goldsboro edition of Empire of the Dawn by J. Kristoff. Yeah. And I am number 973. I have been for all 3 books because they let you request a certain number, so you all matchy, and yeah, yay. And then I'm gonna really quickly just do my my Waterstones pre-order because it was Empire of the Dawn. It's the Waterstones edition. Told you I was going to see this book multiple times. And then I managed to get one more BookBox book. However, I didn't get it from BookBox. I got it from eBay. And there's a whole story behind getting this book, which I actually spoke to the author about. But I got this book, and she knows how much I have been wanting this edition of this book. And I finally got it. And she's very happy for me. I got the broken binding edition of The Iron Crown by L.L. McRae. My only issue is it's a little bit damaged, which is where the whole story comes in, but we move on. I got this off eBay, and the person was selling it for like a very decent price. It wasn't much off of RRP. I can't remember how much this was on Broken Binding's website, but it wasn't much more on this person's eBay. They sent it in nothing but a mailing bag. So consequently, it got damaged. You can't see the damage as bad, but like these are really bent, and there's a scrape, and you can't see it, but there's like a dent because the whole mailing bag was open here because it was sent in a mailing bag. So yeah, I complained to the seller, and I was like, I wouldn't have spent this much on it if I knew you was going to send it in this condition. Like, and I was hoping to get like maybe £5-10 off because it should have been less than RRP for this condition. And he got really rude with me, lied and said he sent it in a box, even though I had sent him the picture of it in the mailing bag before I fully opened the package. And then so I contacted eBay with the same thing and said how the seller lied, and eBay just refunded me the full amount. So I got this for free, and I don't feel bad about that seller. I gave a scathing review. They had 2 positive reviews before I did a review, and I've bumped their rating down by my 1 bad review. They clearly don't sell often, but I don't care because I've got it. I'm so happy. And then I got a couple of gifted books. So Del Rey very kindly sent me Masters of Evil by Adam Christopher. I'm so excited to read this because it's Star Wars. At this point, I'm not really reading anything in order other than the High Republic, and this isn't High Republic. This takes place after Revenge of the Sith, before Han Solo. So I'm very excited to read this. And then at Yalk, Ash got me a book, which she's wrapping up for Christmas, but they were clearly trying to get rid of everything, like proof wise. So I got a proof of This Boy I Hardly Know by Lisa Heathfield. I don't know if I actually want to read this. We'll see. It's a beautiful coming of age love story and song to the bond of sisters and found family. We'll see. I might read it, but I'm not in a rush to. Then I once again did my little thing where I raid the freebie shelf at work, and I was so excited because I saw Lessons in Power by Jennifer Lynn Barnes in this American paperback and was like, oh, but that's book 2. I'm not going to be able to get book 1. On the next shelf down was The Ruling Class. I have them. in floppy American paperbacks. I'm so excited. So yeah, I raided these from the freebie shelf. I love the freebie shelf in work. It's so good. Very hit and miss. A lot of the time it's the academic stuff, and I don't want the academic stuff. I want the trade stuff. But anyway, and then at Yelk I got Poison Tides by Jay McGuinness because I had to go see my boy and get it signed. He's genuinely one of the nicest people. I love him so much. I'm excited to read this. And then I took advantage of my discount with work and got a couple of books. So I got Make Me Your Monster by Kaylin Bayron because it is criminal I didn't have it yet. I do prefer the US cover. I'm going to put the US cover here. It is stunning. But do you know what? I don't get a discount on the US one. So I just got the UK one. And then I got It's Not a Cult by Joey Beatty. I don't know if this is my sort of thing. However, there's going to be a buddy read of this with Ash and Jem. So, because we were all interested in this. So, I'm excited to read it. So that's my haul. I now need to find room for these. Yay. I hope you enjoyed that really, really long video. If you've watched the entire thing, I hope you had a drink and snacks. But I hope you have enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Bye.